And we're live. Boom. Okay. Welcome. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the live session. If you haven't already, be sure to hit the like button as you come in. Be sure to hit the like button. I appreciate it. If you have any questions about your situation, about your relationship, about your breakup, go ahead and drop your questions in the comment section now. Okay. Go ahead and drop your questions about your situation in the comment section, and then we'll just take it from there. A few things for housekeeping. Okay. Um, the way it goes is, like I said, just ask whatever question you have. If you want to support the channel, I appreciate it. Go ahead and send a super chat donation, which is awesome. Or if you want to skip the line, okay, and you want me to prioritize your question first, send a super chat. I prioritize super chat questions first. But ask whatever question you may have. It's totally free. I answer the questions in order. So I'm going to start here in a second from the top and answer whatever questions came in first. So if you have any questions and you're here, go ahead and type your questions in now. Okay. Because the room is going to get more people. And usually I don't get to answer every single question. So go ahead and drop your questions in now, and I will get to them as soon as I get to them. And like I said, I prioritize the super chat donations first because it's because of those people that I get to do this. So I appreciate you. And don't feel any pressure. You don't have to donate if you can't afford it. I understand. So don't feel bad about it. But those that can, I appreciate you. Okay. What else? If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for? And let me know where you are calling from. Wherever you're calling from, drop it down in the comment section because I like to know. I like to know where you guys are at. Okay. And then we'll kick things off. Um, so let's do one more thing. We're going to share this on Instagram, and then we will go from there. Huh. Um, all right. Mhm. Boom. Okay, let's do it. So we got Randolph from Luxembourg. Shout out to you, Randolph. Where else? Huh. Okay, we got Clem. Shout out to Clem Boogie from New York City. Shout out to Clem. Darius from Las Vegas. Appreciate y'all for being here. Okay. Shout out to Clem. All right, let's do it. Let's hop into some questions. Okay. Uh MJ Gray. No, no, no. Okay. Power Alpha Gaming says, Coach, I go to boot camp in a month. Can I book a call when I graduate? Yeah, you can book a call whenever you're ready. I just told my ex today I can't just be friends, but I still want her. Okay, well, at least you have set a boundary. That's good. It's necessary that you stand up for yourself. Okay, you cannot just be a doormat. You can't allow your ex to dictate everything. And in most cases, being friends is only setting you up. Okay, so that was a good move. Now you're in no contact completely. So wait for her to do something. Danielle says, howdy, howdy again, coach. Howdy. Kate says, 3 months in no contact. What if breakup was your fault? because you pushed the person too hard and were needy, insecure of the space, do I still have a chance? Well, I mean, it all depends on the situation, but the best thing, especially if you were needy, that you can do is to give your ex the space that they're asking for. Okay, because your ex is currently formed a perception of you that you're needy, desperate, and insecure, and that even if this breakup was a terrible decision, you are so easy because of how much you're into them. They will always have the opportunity to get you back. This is how your ex feels, and a lot of times they're not going to articulate this to you. This Your ex will never tell you this. They'll tell you a million other things besides the truth a lot of times. So if you've been needy, no contact is still the best solution, because you have to change your ex's perception. They have to see you in a different light. And also, they have to feel like they are getting something out of the deal. They are getting an attractive person who has options. Okay, so you have to stop the old patterns and old behaviors, because that's what got you here in the first place, and then allow time to work in your favor. Okay, but good question. If you haven't already, be sure to hit the like button, okay, as you come in. It costs you nothing, but it really does help the channel out. And it gets this content out to other people who need it. So I really, really appreciate those who do so. It's a way of supporting the channel. So thank you. Let's see here. Fear, fear and all. Ex-wife is angry, saying it's unfair. I'm closing off during no contact. Well, a lot of times these are the strategies and tactics that your ex uses to manipulate you to keep you around. Oh, you've changed, you're acting different. Meanwhile, they're the ones that chose to leave you, but they still want that unlimited access to you. They want support emotionally. Sometimes they want financial support. You see how this becomes a one sided deal. If you open up and you're giving her all of this affection, attention, okay, where does that stop? Because I promise you, the moment you say, okay, let me show some intimate levels of affection, let me try to kiss her, or maybe let's say she's going on a date. The moment you try to say, hey, I don't appreciate that, she'll remind you that the relationship is over. Can you guys hear me? Someone confirm that you can hear me before I continue. I don't see my I don't see the speakers moving. Okay, cool. Okay, gotta check. All right. So where was I? So yeah. So a lot of times they manipulate you or say things in a certain way to make you feel bad about respecting yourself and having a boundary. But again, that's a one-sided deal. It's not a fair, equal exchange. So do not fall for it. If she says, "Oh, it's unfair," tell her, "Hey, I love you. I care about you, but I'm not about to be your emotional support when you're not willing to work on the relationship. Okay. I'm not about to be your pen pal." Molly, been in no contact for 2 months. She keeps reaching out. 2 weeks, no contact. She called me too. I'm lost. What's your question? What's your question, my friend? Tommy Lauren says, I'm pregnant and currently 2 months no contact with my ex. Is there possibility he'll return? Well, there's always a possibility, especially if you have a family together. All right. Because now the breakup is going to exist on a very long term basis, because your ex is going to have constant access to you as you raise your child together. Okay. But still, you should be doing no contact anyway. You shouldn't be forcing, calling, and doing anything. Okay. Stay no contact. If you just joined, thank you for joining us. Okay. Hit the like button as you come in. Okay. I appreciate it. It really does help the channel. If you have a question, go ahead and drop them down now in the comment section. Okay. I'm answering the questions in order, just for those who are not aware. So, I'm a little bit behind, but we'll get through it. If you want to skip the line, let's say you don't have an hour to wait and you want to get your question answered right away, send a super chat. I prioritize all the super chat questions first. Okay. Or if you just want to support the channel, send a super chat. Okay. All right. Let's see. The next question is from Chris. Chris says, you said something earlier about women moving on after 4 months. So after 4 months, should I just move on? I never said that. I never said that. Breakups more so happen on an individual level. What I said is, on average, okay, people tend to start to react to no contact after 3 to 4 months. Some people, it's a little sooner. Some people, it's a little bit later. Usually, if they're in a rebound. So, if they rush into something new, they might be a little bit distracted by this new person for some time before that relationship ends, and then they come back looking for you. Okay. So yeah, so that's not what I said, but is it best that you start working on detaching and trying to move on? Absolutely. That's what you should be doing. That's where you start. And so when your ex comes back, you still have a lot of leverage. You have a lot more power and control at that point. Let's see here. And let me say this, okay? For example, I'm kind of scrolling but for love for all something, okay? You got like a whole paragraph and multiple lines. I'm not going to answer that. Okay? The best thing you can do, condense your question into one sentence, right? Into one prompt and send it, and I'll answer that for free. If you got all this history and backstory, book a call and we'll talk if you need to go over details. This is just an open platform for the people who can't really book a call, which I understand, to just ask quick questions without getting into too much detail, because there's a lot of people I have to get to. But again, if you want to talk about your situation, you see the pinned comment at the top, you can book a one-on-one coaching call and we can talk. Okay. But if you want me to answer something that you're thinking about, condense it into one single prompt and throw it in there and I'll answer it. Okay. Let's see here. Uh Hannon says, hey, I have a question. So my ex moved abroad. We fought a lot and then he dumped me. I then went no contact. He reached out after 35 days. We talked and I only let him start the convo. Well, that's good. That's a good thing. What's your question? Charlene says, hey, coach, we've been apart for almost 2 months, and I recently stopped reaching out and been in no contact for about 3 weeks. It feels really good, but I kind of still hope he would reach out for closure. Is that possible? Yes, that's possible. But a lot of these closure conversations are not even necessary, because a lot of times, it's not over, it's just a pause. All right. And so when he comes back, let him open up and tell you what he's looking for or what he wants to talk about. And you can take it from there. But yeah, technically, you've only been no contact for 3 weeks. So you just started to do this properly. Now, I hope you're not watching his stories and none of that other stuff that pushes him further away. So yeah, just stay in no contact and wait for him to reach out to you. Carissa says, I recently blocked someone who kept ghosting me. I tried breaking up with him and he replied, nope, why is that? Because he doesn't care. Ghosting is one of the highest forms of disrespect. It just shows someone who doesn't really respect you. They don't care to hurt your feelings or break your heart. And so when you're trying to punish someone who doesn't care, it has no effect. That's like trying to fire someone that doesn't work at your company. They're not really going to care. So that's ultimately the problem, is you're barking up the wrong tree. And so you said he kept ghosting you and you tried breaking up with him. He's already broken up with you. Okay. So I hope you understand that. And just to say this, okay, I'm not trying to be harsh, but I'm really hoping that that gets through to you. Okay. Focus your energy more so on yourself and let this person Do more to work for the relationship. Blocking him isn't going to help. It's just something that you're doing to still reach out to him, right? To see if he notices, to see if there's a reaction. He doesn't care. At least it doesn't seem like it. Tamatoy says, "Hey coach, shout out from Australia. Shout out to you. When will you make a video on bipolar exes?" Never. Okay, I won't say never. I don't know. I feel like no contact with them is different because they monkey branch faster and block you out. Okay, so I haven't made a direct video about bipolar. I would say the closest video I have to it is my video on narcissists. Now, of course, medically, those are two totally different diagnoses. Okay, and I'm not a doctor. Let me just get that clear. Okay, but a lot of times, like one of the things I want to get clear is, this works on your ex, but it works on you as well. So a lot of times as human beings, we are very, very reactive to pain. Okay. By far, the most powerful impulse in our system as human beings is our reaction to pain, uncertainty, fear, sadness. These things cause us a lot of emotional pain, and then your body is triggered. It's kind of like the fight or flight. And so you need to take action to do something to resolve the pain. So sometimes, especially if your ex hasn't been diagnosed as bipolar, sometimes what will happen is, because you are feeling pain and your body and your mind is trying to solve this problem, you're doing no contact, which is causing you pain as well, because all you want to do is talk to your ex. All you want to do is resolve the situation. You're doing no contact. They haven't reached out yet, so in your mind it's not working. So because you're in pain, guess what your body is going to do? It's like, huh, how can I solve this problem? How can I relieve the pain? How can I make her take action? What happens is you start to make excuses for your ex. They're bipolar, they're avoidant, they're stubborn. So you come up with all these scenarios where your ex will never reach out unless you do something. And now the burden is back on you. You see how interesting the pain and pleasure dynamic is. It's very powerful because it's not just working on your ex, it's working on you. And staying away from your ex, not talking to them is causing you a lot of internal pain. And a lot of times your solutions, all the excuses that you come up with for your ex, is your mind trying to force you or to give you a reason to break no contact, because all you want is some relief, to feel better. You're like, oh, if I do something, it's going to solve the problem. You're wrong. Do nothing. My ex says she loves me and she's sorry. This is a super chat from Levi. My ex says she loves me and she's sorry. The way things turned out, I've been in no contact for 1.5 weeks. What's your question? What's your question, bro? But thank you for the super chat. Should I be dating other people while no contact and working on myself? Well, that depends on you. Like, you should date whenever you feel ready. But you should always be clear about your intention. So if you're still hooked on your ex and you haven't moved on completely, if you're going to date, you should let the other people know, maybe you're just dating casually or you're not totally over your ex. You should be honest, because you're just going to end up hurting other people. So it's totally up to you if you feel ready to date in some capacity. But if you haven't moved on, I would communicate that clearly to others. Love for all with super chat says she reached out after 2 months no contact. It wasn't about us directly, but it involved my family. Was she fishing? Yes, likely. Fishing and missing you are very similar. Okay, if she didn't care at all, she wouldn't have reached out at all. Okay, so she likely cares to some capacity and was trying to kind of figure out where you were at or how you were feeling about the breakup. So, what I would have done is to answer the question about your family and kind of redirect the conversation towards getting together. That's always what you should do. Take each reach out as an opportunity to set a face to face meeting. Okay. So next time, don't miss that opportunity. Just, oh, family's great. Everyone's doing awesome. How have you been? When she answers that question, great. Good to hear from you. What's your schedule like next week? Let's go grab a drink. Let's catch up. I'd love to see you and see what she says. Molly with the super chat says 2 weeks ago, ex cooked food for me. Okay. After no contact. Then no contact for 2 weeks. She asked me to pick her up from night out the other day. I wouldn't do that. I went and shared another kiss. Was this fine to break if she reaches out? Well, you're just doing too much because now you're being her chauffeur. Okay. If she wants to see you, it needs to be a little more intentional than that. It needs to be a date, a one on one thing. So kissing is good, but you don't want to give her the impression she can text you at 2 a.m. and say, oh, hey, come pick me up or drop me at the airport. You're not an errand boy, you're her equal. This is a romantic relationship. If she wants to see you, she can do more. Okay. So that's the only thing. That's the only technicality I would say. So, but yeah, that's a positive though that you guys shared a kiss. But just next time, don't just drop everything because she texts and say, "Oh, I gotta go pick her up from a night out." That's not your job. You're not in. You're not her chauffeur. Okay. Next super chat is from Sahi. Says, "Hey coach, you've helped me more than you'll ever know." Awesome. I'm glad. I'm in no contact 2 weeks, not posting more than usual, but X watches and likes my stories. Good. Should I stop so he gets the full no contact experience? Yeah, I would minimize posting. Here's why. Okay. And people don't really understand this. The thing is, mystery is always better. It's always better when your ex is imagining and trying to figure out what you're doing. Okay. Now, I'm not saying you never post ever, ever again, but there's nothing you can do likely that is as powerful as your ex's mind. Just the lengths that their mind is going to go as to what you're doing and who you're spending time with and who you're dating and if you've moved on. All of these things is just what the mind does. Think about yourself, for example. If you've been in no contact and it's crickets from your ex, you're likely thinking about if your ex has moved on. Do you still have a chance? This is just the natural tendencies of the human mind. So you need to use that to your advantage. Less is always more. It's better if your ex is imagining what you're up to than for you to solve the puzzle, because as long as they're imagining, they're more likely to reach out to get clarity and get more context. Okay, Sai with Super Chat says, "Do you believe in clean slate messages?" No. After begging, so you were already begging, and now you want to send another message? No, that's desperate. Now that no contact has been 2 weeks, then go back to no contact. No, no, that's too desperate. Okay, you were begging for multiple weeks, and let me tell you, here's the other thing. If you were begging and you were needy towards the end of the relationship, and you finally go no contact and you're trying to get your power back. The thing is, instinctively, you've already built up this pattern with your ex, okay? There's no way. That's like, so think about it like a language, okay? There's no way, me for example, there's no way I'm going to learn Spanish in 1 week or 2 weeks. It's going to take some time. Okay, so your level of neediness and insecurity, instinctively, your ex knows that you're probably still the same person. So you be in no contact right now, they're probably feeling a ton of relief, like, finally, she's leaving me alone. But they still expect that you're going to reach out again in the future. So when you go no contact for 2 weeks and you're thinking, like, oh, I've made so much progress, 2 weeks to you is like 30 minutes to your ex because of all of the history. They are still expecting you to reach out. As sure as the sun rises, your ex expects you not to be done. Okay. So when you reach out again with the clean slate message, you're forcing things. You're being too desperate and you're proving your ex right that they can have you whenever they want. And that doesn't lead to attraction. Okay. So, no. Go find something else to do. Ari and Jesse with the super chat. So I'm guessing probably had a question. Let's see if we find Ari and Jesse. Hmm. Ari and Jesse. Okay, there it is. If she agrees to hang out after the breakup as friends, you shouldn't be hanging out as friends. What do I do to make her want me back? You can't make her do anything. And when you're hanging out as friends, you're going to get ghosted and you're going to get less effort. What can I do to make her want me back? And if she keeps wearing my name, necklace, and promise ring after I ask her to remove it. Again, you're super invested. You're trying to force things like, oh, remove the necklace because you still care so much. You're still too attached. You're doing too much, and she'll probably move on forever if you keep doing this. You got to have some more emotional self control. Like you're a little too needy. I definitely pick up on that. You shouldn't be hanging out as friends. You should be giving her space. Okay, you're going to need the coaching, but so you can click that link. But if you can't, um, I recommend you just keep watching the videos. You need you need some like you need to get your fundamentals better. Okay. Let's see. So let's go back to the free questions. Where were we? Mm, let's see here. Uh Christopher Zay says ex-wife said I okay. You gotta be careful with the words you type here on YouTube. Okay. Ex-wife said you deleted her a long time ago, but she was the one who did drugs and alcohol, blaming me for not getting pregnant 7 years in a relationship, 4 years of marriage. She asked for divorce. What's your question for me? Dylan says in 23 days she unblocked me now. It's 40 days with no contact and she still hasn't reached out. I don't get it. Well, it hasn't been long enough. Just relax. Hasn't been long enough for her. Okay. So if she unblocked you 23 days ago, good. That's some progress. But you got to wait for her to do more. I'm assuming she's the one that dumped you. So you just need to be indifferent to the little games that she does. Okay? It's the indifference that makes you more attractive. You being unattached. She can come and go as she pleases. She can block you or unblock you. She can post whatever story she likes and you're unreactive. Okay? If she cares about you, people call you. I can guarantee it. I can bet money on it. Let's see here. Justin Siddell says she broke up with me about a week ago and says she still loves me. Okay. But isn't happy or we aren't happy, but I am. My question is, do you think she will be back? She might be if you start no contact. It's only been a week. So you haven't had enough time to see her react to your distance. Okay. You haven't had enough time yet. 1 week is not nearly enough. And to me, when your ex is saying, I love you, but I'm not in love with you, things like that, you were probably needy. If I had to guess, you are probably the needy type and you are more invested in this relationship than she has been. So that's what I would do. So stay no contact and wait for her to react. Tamatoy says update your page. Thanks for the feedback. I will. I will. Thank you. Psychological perspective. Shout out to you. I remember you. We talked a while ago. Thanks for joining. Aisha Charles says, what if you were in no contact for 2 months, but they came back? Then y'all be good for a few days. Then now, okay, I'm going to assume that they disappeared. You were probably moving too fast. This is why it's a subtle dance. When your ex comes back after no contact, you really have to be cautious so you're not doing too much. You should never give your ex so much comfort and certainty that they feel like there's no risk of losing you. Okay. Think about it like this. Let's say you had a map to a treasure chest, and you spent all these days and weeks and months searching for the treasure, and you finally find it, most people are not going to throw that treasure away, because it's like it's special. It's like, oh my god, I finally got the loot. But then if you hear the next morning that the same piece of treasure is everywhere, it's abundant, then it loses its value because everyone has it. And so when you're too available, when you're too easy, when your ex can get you back like this, and you go back to saying how much you love them and how much you miss them and how happy you are that they're back, a lot of times they get cold feet and they start to reconsider coming back. So you always got to be very cautious and let them be doing most of the pursuing. Hammer with the super chat says 6 months from the breakup, X will send snaps of her grandkids I like, and we'll start to chat, but then she'll tell me to move on, forget about her. So, one, if you're open to being friends, and fine, you can have these types of random, pointless conversations. If you don't want to be friends, you're asking her to get together. She's saying no. You need to start to set firmer boundaries and say, no, stop texting me. I'm not going to be your texting buddy. I'm done doing that. Okay. You need to be clear about those types of things and stop responding to the snaps if she's refusing to get together. That's huge, because if you keep responding, she'll feel like she can text you for emotional support whenever she's bored. She can get attention from you, and then boom, she disappears again. Right? But the fact that she's telling you to move on means that she's so certain that you're still into her. She feels like you're obsessed with her, and she thinks she has all the power. So that tells me you're still doing too much, for sure. Because if you were distant, if you were aloof, if you had your own life, those words wouldn't even come out of her mouth. She wouldn't say that. There'll be no reason to. Okay. Let's see here. Um, co- Cottonage something. K so, K something. Oh three. No contact for 2 months. He offered friendship. Should we be friends? Not if you're still interested. Not if you're still romantically interested in them. You shouldn't. Quentin H, my soon to be ex wife, is still hanging with her jealous friend who sent me a naked picture from Charlotte, North Carolina. Okay. That's specific. Should I show her the pic because she do not believe me? Of course. Sounds like drama. You should be staying out of drama. Right? Let your ex-wife, if she's divorcing you and that's her friend. I mean, if you've kind of told her where you stand, I wouldn't dig too deep into all this drama and naked pictures and stuff like that. Give her space. Pamela Anderson, hi, because my ex and I work together. He come up to me and say things like, I know you hate me and wants, okay, what's that about? Well, that's still about power. He's still got so much power. He thinks you're obsessed. That's what that sounds like to me. And so there's a possibility that your energy at work is showing a high level of investment or frustration. Because a lot of times I say this, you know, 85% of communication is nonverbal. So your vibe, your energy, how you're walking, how you're looking at him is communicating. It's a language, and you're communicating that, oh, I'm so hurt by this breakup. I still care about you. That's why he's saying those types of things. So you need to act a little more indifferent. Don't look angry, and try to be as distant as possible. It's difficult because you guys work together, but try to create at least some space in separations. Smitha says, no contact with the super chat. No contact for 48 days. I removed him from my socials a week ago after a month after months of being strong along post breakup. I heard he's on apps. Is this a lost cause? I would at least act that way, But 48 days is, I mean, that's less than 2 months. So you're still in the heart of no contact. Okay. Until you're around 3 to 4 months, I wouldn't think that it's like a lost cause. But again, still be focusing on detaching though. X texted a week ago. This is Emily with Super Chat. X texted a week ago over something he bought me before the breakup. Said he wanted to give it to a third party to give it to me. I haven't responded. Is it too late to respond? Should I even? Again, I say this all the time. It's not about ignoring your ex. If he wants to give you a gift, you can just say, cool, sure. um that's just a logistical thing that you guys are navigating, so it's not, he's not trying to see you. So if you're open to fixing things, you want to be more receptive, okay, provided he's the one advancing towards you. So again, I would respond to them like, sure. um and then let him handle the logistic, let him plan how he's going to get it to you. Okay, that's what I would do. Okay. I don't know how to pronounce that name, but question is, my ex-girlfriend, oh, jeez, I went to a movie with 3 or 4 guys. Okay. One day, my friend showed me her with another man. I'm gonna guess. Why is my ex-girlfriend? Yeah, so I'm obviously guessing you don't speak English, but the translation is not really clear to me. So I'm not sure exactly what you're asking. It's not clear. Danny G, dealing with too much guilt of treating him poorly. I'm the dumpy. What exactly did you do? What exactly did you do? Um, a lot of these things you can come back from. All Star J says, I just subbed coach. Cool. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Okay. Appreciate you for doing so. And hit the like button. If you just came in, thank you for being here with us. Drop your questions down in the comment section below. And thank you for being here. So we're going to be here for probably about another 30 minutes, and we're going through the questions in order. If you have any questions and you don't want to stick around for the whole 30 minutes, the quickest way to get your question answered, send a super chat. I will always prioritize super chat donation questions first because I appreciate it. So let's do it. Next question from Danny G. No, already answered that. Victor, 4 months of no contact. Ex girlfriend blocked me on my second WhatsApp account. I didn't use it to communicate with her. She left main account. I write her something and even recently called me on the number. I'm not clear. Guys, if you're going to take the time to write your questions, make sure you're articulating yourselves properly. Okay. Some of this stuff is translation, so I understand. Like if English is not your first language and you're getting stuff translated, but some of these questions don't make sense to me, so I'm gonna skip those. Kedge says, does no contact work if your relationship with your ex was short term, 4 months, but very intense and full of love? However, I embarrassed myself during the end of the relationship and breakup. What did you do? I'm curious about what you did, but the shorter term, the less likely it is for no contact to work. But if the relationship was intense, okay, deeply passionate, emotional, you guys really got close and shared things with each other and really got to know each other. That's really the basis of no contact. The basis of no contact is the connection. Like time generally plays a factor because the longer you're with someone, the more you get to know them, the more attached you get to that person. But definitely the connection is the most important thing. So it can still work, but again, you have to be the judge of how deep that connection was. You got to be honest with yourself. Okay. Um, Palishi had a healthy breakup 2 weeks ago. Week to that, I released a song and she texted me congratulations. I got mixed signals. I drunk texted on the weekend. She decided to mute me from her stories. Uh, it was bad, or is that bad? Well, just stop texting. Certainly don't text when you're drunk because you're gonna say things you regret. So her muting you in the grand scheme of things is not a big deal, but like when you've been dumped, you can't afford to make too many mistakes. So definitely if you're drinking, don't text her. Um Ejiro says my ex hasn't contacted me. It's been 2.5 months of no contact. He keeps viewing my stories and we see 4 times a week. I miss him. Why do you guys see each other 4 times a week? What's that about? What's the reason? Is that work or do you guys have kids together? Because if you don't have to, you definitely shouldn't be seeing him. But I'm guessing there's a reason. That's why I'm asking. Because that could be affecting his willingness to come back. If you're in constant interaction and there's no separation at all, it could be difficult for him to come back in those types of situations. So sometimes it's inevitable. You work together, you have kids, but there's still ways to handle those interactions so you minimize the emotional side of the conversation. You're making sure you guys are just handling logistics and things like that. But what's the reason you see each other so frequently? Terry says my ex is not showing much interest after no contact, but is offering to take my cat and take care of my house, etc. I'm on a trip looking for an in. Okay. He's a tough one to read. Well, stop looking for an in. If the ball is in his court, the ball is in his court. That line of like how you're setting that up already puts your ex on a pedestal. And if you think that you can do and fix the relationship by yourself, you're going to fail because your ex has to have a mutual interest. And that interest is going to make them do something. It's going to make them send that text message. There's a lot of people that can testify to this in the comment section. There's other clients I've talked to that their ex ended up sending them a text or setting a date with them or coming back to fix the relationship. So again, the ball is in his court. Joseph with the super chat, been no contact 3 months. I got happy Father's Day text. Cool. I asked her why she really reached out. Why even ask that? That's just like be positive, be in the present moment. Stop trying to force things. You're living in the future. You're trying to solve the puzzle and my guess is that probably didn't go well. She said because I don't like you. What does that mean? Inside joke. Okay. Probably means she loves me. Keep it brief. Possible breadcrumb. Well, it's just her testing the water, and that's fine. But there's no need to get into this whole deep and what is the meaning of you reaching out to me? What does it mean? Because a lot of times they don't even know why they're reaching out. They miss you, but they're likely not going to tell you that. Or they're thinking about you. They're not going to tell you that either. They're questioning their decision. They're not going to tell you that. So be in the present moment. So I would have just said, "Hey, thank you. I appreciate it." Now, if she followed up after that and say, "Oh, how have you been and how's your day?" Then you just focus on what is the next step. Not why did she reach out? Not can we get back together? The next step should be a one-on-one get together, a face-to-face date. So you focus on that. So, but the fact that she texted you is a good sign. It's a good thing. Okay. But just don't live in the future. Don't try to diagnose them. Don't try to solve the relationship issues in one conversation because most times that just comes off as pressure. Okay. And pressure comes off as needy. Okay. Just focus, be in the present moment and ask her out. But let's say she said Happy Father's Day. You said thanks, I appreciate that, and she said nothing. Then say and do nothing. Wait for the next time she reaches out. Okay. Levi says my ex says she loves me and she's sorry the way things turned out. What's your question for me? Stephanie Cannon, my ex and I have been broken up for a month. She's starting to reach out, but it's not consistent. 3 days ago, she wanted me to share my screen on my phone, but because I refused, she went silent again. Why even playing these silly games? Why? Be direct, be decisive. Hey, good to hear from you. How have you been? Awesome. Hey, I'm actually going out to dinner with my sister. What's your schedule like? When are you free? Let's grab a drink. Let's go catch up. And maybe she resists you. Maybe she said, "No, I'm not ready. I don't feel like it." Then you end the conversation politely. It's like, "Okay, well, hey, I understand. Whenever you're ready, let me know. I do have to run. Take care." Don't give them the constant conversation. It sounds like you guys have been talking. Right? You said she's starting to reach out, but is inconsistent. So you're having conversation. You're giving her that emotional access to you. And so she's not under any pressure to come back. She's still getting all of the benefits of the relationship without the commitment. So you're doing too much. TG says, no contact 2 months. He's in a new relationship. Never reach out again. He hasn't picked some of his belongings. Why does he text me for random tools he can buy from Home Depot? Well, if he's using the text to pick up things one by one, just say, hey, here's all your stuff. You can come pick them all at once. Okay. Give them, be unattached. Don't hold on to them hoping that, okay, this is going to be another reason to reach out. Just say, hey, oh, you left these tools here, here they are, and here's all your other stuff. Here you go. If he's with someone else, you need to be pushing him away from you, and give him no access. It's not about being mean, it's just setting a boundary because in this situation, look at how this sounds. He's with a whole new person, he has a whole new relationship, and you are being emotionally dragged through the fire. You're the one in pain. You're the one that's uncertain. You're the one that's wondering where he stands because you're giving him too much of your energy, affection, and energy and time. I said energy twice, but you get what I'm saying. Okay. So if he has stuff and he's picking one every month, give him everything at once. Force the separation so that next time he reaches out to you, you know it's because of his genuine interest. He has a desire to see you, to talk to you, etc. Can I get my ex back after 10 months? Yes, you can, but I wouldn't be waiting. So hopefully you're at least trying to detach from them. They might be with someone else, they might be in a new relationship. 10 months is too long for you to be sitting by the phone boohoo and waiting for your ex, okay? AJ the Destroyer, my ex lives in a big city about an hour away and doesn't have a car. Would having me drive all the way there for a future date be putting too much effort on my part? Been 9 weeks, no contact. It would be too much effort if you haven't gotten some kind of certainty. So before you should even consider driving, I would at least have a couple of FaceTimes and try to read and see what the energy is like. So I would do FaceTime dates first. What is she saying? How is she talking? How receptive is she to you? Is she flirting? Is she excited over the phone? Those things will give you better clarity. And then from there, you can say, okay, I want to go see her. Right. But again, that would be after at least a couple of FaceTime dates. And if possible, shoot, make her get a Uber. She dumped you, right? But to me, like the FaceTime dates will give you all the answers you need before you need to do something else. Easy DGF says, I must say your advice has been great, coach. Me and my ex were on and off. She texted me on my birthday recently, but no link. So I just been no contact, just focusing on myself. Amazing. Good job, man. Jacob Hall, 5 months since the breakup, and I was into immediate no contact. Breakup was due to my anxiety on my side, small, inadvertent rejections, and taking her for granted. Not sure if I should continue to hang on to hope. No, you shouldn't be hanging on to hope. You should be working on yourself and making yourself her best option. And it's not really like you're waiting for her to choose you. You're just fixing all the things that were issues in the relationship and in your overall package and offering. Now, if she has some way to access you, a mutual friend, social media, leave it up to her to see what she's missing out on. All right. But I wouldn't call it holding out for hope. Okay. I wouldn't do that. Psychological perspective with the super chat. Thank you, psychological perspective. Coach Black is telling the truth. My ex is in a family group chat and I refuse to post in the group. Mystery. Trying to keep me as an option. He asked me out to lunch, and when I hesitantly said maybe, he hearted it. Say what? LOL, breadcrumbing. Yeah, to me, if he's asking you to lunch, the ball should be in his court. So instead of maybe, he's like, well, let me know what the plans are. I'll figure out my schedule and get back to you. So put it in his court for him to say, hey, I'm free Thursday and Saturday. I want to take you XYZ place. And if you're open to it, you can say yes. But clearly, he's likely missing you, which is a good thing. So awesome. If you just joined, welcome. Go ahead and hit the like button. It's good to have you here. We're having a live session. The lives are usually on Mondays and Wednesdays at 9:30 p.m. Central. I didn't get to go live yesterday, and so that's why we're having the live today. But that means we're going to be live again tomorrow. So if I don't get to your question today, don't worry. Just make sure you come in early. As you can see, I'm answering the questions in order. So the people who got here right on time, and this was random. So I guess the people were kind of lucky who got in here at 7:30. But tomorrow I definitely will be live at 9:30 p.m. Central. So, make sure you come in on time so you can ask your question and I will prioritize you first. Okay. Also, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Okay. What are you waiting for? Okay. And make sure you hit the bell so that you don't miss videos because YouTube, it's a lot of stuff behind the scenes and algorithms and all that stuff. So if you want YouTube to let you know when I'm going live, hit the bell and YouTube will let you know. And again, a major shout out to Psychological Perspective. I appreciate you for the super chat. Those that send super chats, I mean, thank you. Okay. I know you have questions as well, so it's a mutual kind of a thing, but I will say the super chats do help and support the channel. So thank you. Okay. So we're gonna do a couple more questions. We'll be on probably 10 or so minutes. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to keep answering the questions. But if you want to skip the line, send a super chat. I will do some random selection questions because I won't be able to get to everyone. So I'm going to just scroll and I'm going to do a couple of random ones. But if you want to guarantee I answer your question, send a super chat. I'll answer those. Okay, so let's pick a random one here. Let's see here. One of one says, I've been in about I'm gonna guess you're saying I've been in no contact about a month, but in like a month and a half we go off to school and we'll be far away. Do you think she will reach out to me before then? Well, that's a natural juncture for her to reach out to you. Yes, but do not let that timeline make you reach out to her because you're feeling pressure and you're like, oh, well, a month and a half, she's going to move away and there's going to be distance. Okay, so handle that pressure with grace. It's better if she reaches out to you all the time, if she's the one that dumped you. Okay, Super chat from Justin, your DM. I broke no contact 3 times in the last 4 months. Never got a reply. She broke up with me and gets mad about me helping her disabled dad and mom with cancer. Well, she's pushing you away and you're still doing more. So it feels like you're bribing her. Okay. You cannot bribe a woman to love you. If she's getting upset because you're doing favors for her, that should tell you she wants nothing to do with you. So the most self-respecting thing that you can do is to leave her alone. You can't say, "Oh, I've been in no contact for 4 months, but I broke it 3 times." So you're hitting her up about once a month. That's not no contact. And also, that doesn't include all the things that you're trying to do for her mom and dad. So you're not even doing no contact, bro. So you're not helping your case. Timothy says, I'm in no contact. It's been 3 weeks. My ex texted this on my birthday. I still very much care. I didn't reply. She called and said she's checking up on me. Is she breadcrumbing? Well, she's doing something because she's noticing that you're not reaching out. Obviously, that's difficult for her to deal with, and you're missing opportunities to escalate. Why aren't you saying, hey, let's get together? I mean, sounds like you're still open to be in a relationship. You got to understand, for the most part, most of your exes are not going to text you and say, "Hey, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Let's get back together." They're going to text you things like, "Oh, I still care. Oh, I hope you're doing okay." And so, especially for the men, you still should be leading. You should be leading things to where you want it to go. And so you want to resolve things and get back together. Let's assume that that's like step 6 or 7, but step 1 is just okay, talk over the phone, set a date, or text, set a date. So that's what you should be focusing on versus always being too suspicious, living so far in the future because you're expecting your ex to text you and say, "Hey, can we get back together?" For the most people, that's not going to happen. Remember, the breakup a lot of times is an emotional decision. It's a feeling. So you have to get them to that point where their emotions are engaged again. And that's going to take some time for most people. So if you're so skeptical that you ignore the signs when she's giving you signs with the super chat for texting me some provoking things days later, meme, she still thinks of me after that. Jealous of girls on my IG. I haven't responded. Should I respond to provoking messages? I just need a little more clarity. What is rude, disrespectful, calling you out of your names? A lot of those don't even deserve a response. At most, you can set a boundary like, hey, don't talk to me that way. But if it's more flirtatious, because I can't tell what you mean by provoking things, but if things are clear exactly, again, if she's flirting with texting you, you should be trying to set face to face dates and get togethers. Lady Shantae says, I thought we were in a relationship because he said we were, but he told me confused. Was it all a game? I haven't went no contact. It sounds like it. A guy that leads you to believe one thing, gets access to you and some of the benefits, and then says, we're only friends, doesn't deserve your time. Okay, as difficult as that may be to hear, this guy doesn't have good intentions for you. And so you're setting yourself up for more pain, heartache, trouble, issues, frustration by trying to remain in contact. So if I were you, I would be backing away. I would be moving on to find someone who's crazy about you. Dana, it's my birthday. Can you do me a dead it? I don't even know what that means. I'm your biggest fan. Well, shout out to you. Shout out to you, Dan, and happy. So, oh, connection problem. Can you guys hear me? Hello. Can you hear me? Oh, dang, dang, dang. Okay, can you guys hear me? Okay, we're back. Okay, it's a little glitchy, but we're here. Okay, thank you all for being. So we might have to switch. Hmm. Okay, so so we froze. Okay, so we're just gonna call it a day. We're just gonna call it a day because I keep freezing. Anyway, we'll be back on Tuesday. We'll be back tomorrow. Okay, we're good now. Okay, well, we're gonna do one more. We're gonna do one more, but we'll be back tomorrow at 9:30 p.m. Central. Okay, so let's just do one more. But thank you all for being here. If you didn't already, make sure you like the stream. Okay, I appreciate you all for doing so. We're gonna do one more question. Where is it? Um, Angela. It's going to be Angela. It's been 3 months since my partner of 17 years left me. I'm trying to do no contact, but she texts me every day saying how hard it's been for her, but nothing about getting back together. What should I do? Well, if she's not trying to see you, and she's just trying to text you, she's using you for emotional support. And so, what you should be doing is setting a firmer boundary and saying, "Hey, as difficult as this is for you, it's just as difficult for me. And it's not fair to me that you talk to me whenever you want to, but I'm the one hurting by trying to keep this relationship going. So, you know, you cannot keep contacting me if you don't want to see me, if you don't want to spend time with me." Okay. So you need to set a firmer boundary. But if you want to talk about it in detail for anyone, if you want to talk about your situation in detail, um, you can book a one-on-one coaching call. Joe Schmo, you didn't hear what I said? Let's see. Let's answer Joe Schmo again because I just saw what you. Can you hear me? Can you guys still hear me? Because I'll do Joe Schmo if you can hear me. Yes. Okay. So let's do Joe Schmo again. Joe Schmo, I hope you're here. I did answer, but let's do it again. 40 days, no contact. She started texting me some provoking things. Days later, a meme, she still thinks of me and she got jealous of girls on my IG. Responded, should I respond to provoking messages? Well, my question to you was, um, when you say provoking, okay, there's different categories or ways that I look at that. So if you're saying, if you mean provoking as being rude or disrespectful, a lot of those don't even deserve a response. I wouldn't even respond to that. Or you set a boundary and says, "Hey, we do not talk to each other that way. Do not talk to me that way." Okay. But okay, right. So she's saying things like, "Oh, I see you never love me." So for that, I would just set a boundary like you chose to walk away. All right. And I should you chose to walk away and I'm not going to stick around and keep chit-chatting. If you want to see me, if you want to hang out, let me know. We can get together for drinks. But I'm not going to be a buddy or a best friend. I'm not going to do that. Okay. Chris Crawford, I don't know if you stepped out, but we did answer your super chat. Maybe the connection broke off, unless you left. I definitely remember your name, so I didn't skip you. Let's see. I don't see you now. I don't see your super chat. Huh. Maybe you didn't send one and you think you did. But I remember the name. I definitely answered a question from Chris Crawford. Hmm. No, don't break no contact. No contact is forever. And what it is I think when you're super chat, is low, like below $4 or $5, it doesn't pop up at the top. So I think it just classifies that as a donation. So if you send like a $1 super chat, it doesn't pop up on my screen up there. That's what it is. Okay. All right. Psychological perspective of the super chat. Yes, please call coach. His advice is good. Call him. It's worth it. My ex chases me now. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for the vote of confidence. For anyone, if I didn't get to answer your question, okay, pop back in tomorrow, 9:30 p.m. Central. We're going to go live again. If you haven't liked the video, go ahead and like this. Tomorrow at 9 a.m., I'm going to release a new YouTube video. I think it's going to help some of you answer the question. So be sure to look out for that. Tomorrow at 9 o'clock a.m., I'm going to put out a new video. So thank you all. If you want to talk to me one on one, okay, click the link in my bio or click the link at the top and we can talk about your situation. Okay. I appreciate y'all. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.